the silent way in language learning. Okay. And a silent way is the name of a method of language teaching or approach language teaching devised by Caleb Gatigno. Gatigno. Caleb Gatigno. It is based on the premise that the teacher should be silent, and for this reason, the method is named so. The teacher should be silent as much as possible in the classroom, but the learner should be encouraged to produce as much language as possible. And for this reason, the title of this method is the silent way. Okay. And this was developed by Caleb Gatigno. Okay. He is a mathematician. Okay. He is an educator, psychologist, mathematicians, and he is considered one of the most influential and prolific mathematics educator in the 19th century. And he is best known for introducing new approaches to teaching and learning mathematics, visible and tangible math, and foreign languages, especially the silent way and the reading, that is words in column. And Gattino has developed pedagogical materials for each of these approaches and was the author of more than 120 books and hundreds of articles, largely on the topics of education and human development. Okay, so Caleb Gattino is a mathematician. Most probably many of you can remember that in our early stages when we had been attending school, our teacher would teach us mathematics how to add and deduct, subtraction and addition using the math box, math boxের সাথে আমাদেরকে যোগ এবং বিয়োগ করা শেখাতেন। সেটা কিভাবে? যে ম্যাথ বক্স থেকে কয়েকটা কার্ড স্টিক নিয়ে প্রথমত 5টা স্টিকের সাথে আরো 5টা যোগ করতে বলা হলো, 10টা স্টিকের সাথে 3টা বিয়োগ করতে বলা হলো। এভাবে যেমন আমরা যোগ বিয়োগ শিখিয়েছি, Caleb Gattino, he was a mathematician and he was an educator and psychologist. He introduced this method, especially observing the leakage of the present language teaching methods. He introduced this method that is called the silent way. And actually, in our previous class, we had been talking about the post-method era. In that post-method era, there is no method. However, the research was going on, and we have also understood that we have to develop the several aspects, that is possibility, probability, and we have to think about the context and curriculum. So this silent way can be an addition, can be a research on foreign language learning. So this is an example of post-method era, that in case of learning foreign or second language learning. So the second language, the silent way, a language teaching approach developed by Caleb Gattino, stands out for its unconventional use of silence as a primary teaching tool from the very initial stage of this course. And also you, as a teacher, as a student, we have know that means in the classroom, teacher will be delivering lecture hours after hours, minutes after minutes. Okay, so that was the traditional way of teaching language. And students, what the students will do? Student will hear what the teacher will say. That is the traditional and the conventional way of teaching foreign language or teaching second language. But Caleb Gattino's this silent way is unconventional. In which way? The teacher will remain silent. And this is a critic of the traditional language education methods. That means Caleb Gattino was not happy with the existing methods of language teaching. So he has developed this method or approach in case of learning second language. And he believed, which he believed were too rigid and restrictive. Okay, so he said, Caleb Gettigno said, that is the traditional English language or foreign language teaching methods, they are very rigid and restrictive. What does it mean? It means that the silent way is not rigid and it is not restrictive. It is unconventional and it is thought provoking. Okay, that is the silent way. He believed that learning should be a process of discovery and creation. Discovery and creation, how? It is not a science. It is a Vignana, Japanese creator. Yes, actually, mathematician Caleb Gettigno wanted to say so. That is, we have to, we have to, we have to learn language uh, through the discovery, through the discovery. He believed that learning should be a process of discovery and creation rather than rote memorization. We may we may remember the process of GTM. That is so many vocabulary you have to remember. You may have to memorize, and you have to memorize the synonym, antonym, and also in case of grammar, and also you have to memorize the translation. So many things you have to memorize. So Caleb Gettigno was very much concerned about such kind of root memorization. And in one class, I have said that memorization, okay, you will be building your uh, memory power, no doubt. Rather, it is very much boring sometimes. And we have also watched that video clip. That means the traditional methods are very boring. And also, uh, many students are tired of having such kind of method. And for this reason, this method, the silent way, this approach, the silent way, can be called a process of discovery and creation. Okay, so this approach encourages learners to take an active role in their own learning. We have, you most probably you can remember the learner autonomy. It is quite similar that through the learner autonomy, the second language learner will discover, will create the language, create the word in case of learning second language, with the teacher serving as a guide or facilitator. Okay, that is the calibrated verse. This method emphasizes learners' autonomy and active students' participation. We have understood that the teacher will remain silent and the teacher and the student will be autonomous. They will be doing things in their own way. So they will enjoy their autonomy, and sometimes they will be active. Okay. They will be doing all the activities in the classroom. Teacher will remain silent. Achieved through the strategic use of silence and gesture. Silent and gesture. Teacher, the strategic use of silence and gesture. And the teacher's silence encourages students to focus on their attention. Naturally, you have to focus on the teacher's lectures all the time. You can't keep your eyes away of the whiteboard or the blackboards. Okay. So, but here in this silent approach, you shouldn't do so. Okay. So you can attend what you are learning, what you are discovering, what you are thinking. So this is a thought process of language learning. Elicit responses. Okay. Question answer session in every class we promote. That means, yeah, you will be asking me questions and I will be answering the question. In case of silent or no responses will be there. Correct their own errors. They will be correcting their errors. Okay, if they make mistakes, they will own self be correcting their own mistakes or errors in case of language learning scenario. Pronunciation is considered fundamental with significant time dedicated to it in each lesson. The silent way employs a structural syllabus focusing on the teaching a limited number of functional and versatile words, avoiding translation and the root repetition. So yeah, duolingualism and the other method, they have said that this repetition. So if you repeat a word, that will inscribe in your brain and you will learn the language. This is the traditional process of learning second language. Rather, in case of learning this way, through this approach, the silent way, there will be no repetition, there will be no translation. Language is practiced in meaningful context. And even as we have said, that is in the post-method era, context is very important. Okay, and for this reason, this silent way can be called the post-method era approach. And in this approach, the context, the meaningful context will be evaluated. And evaluation is based on the observation rather than formal test. There will be no written test over there in the silent approach. Okay, that means you have to sit for an examination uh, uh, after the expiry of the uh, formal lectures, but in silent approach, there will be no test. Okay, no evaluation. Observation will be observed. Teacher will observe your discovery, your creation in case of second language learning or foreign language learning journey. Okay. So, in which way this process is follows? One of the hallmark of the silent way is to use cuisinier rods. Cuisinier rods are the small wooden rods of different lengths and colors. In the video clip we have watched, that is, some student had been uh, playing with some rods. These rods, in case of the silent way, these are called the cuisinier rods. They are small wooden rods and of different colors and different lengths as well. Okay, so some are smaller, some are bigger, some are blue, some are red, some are green. So different colors, and these rods are called the cuisinier rods in case of the silent way. These rods will be representing, as I have said, that in our childhood, we have learned mathematics with the stick. That means the matchbox sticks. But here, the sticks will be replaced that the cuisinier rods. সেই ম্যাচ বক্সের কাঠির জায়গায় এখানে ব্যবহৃত হবে এক প্রকারের রঙিন কাঠি, যেগুলো লম্বায় বিভিন্ন রকমের এবং এগুলোর হচ্ছে বিভিন্ন কালারের। The colorful blocks of varying sizes traditionally used in mathematics. Okay, so you see what is Cuisinier rods. We will watch that uh, video later on. So Cuisinier rods. So at present, you can understand that Cuisinier rods are small wooden rods, different lengths and colors. Okay, so that will be used in case of learning a second language. Okay, these dots can be used to represent objects, introduce simple commands, illustrate concepts. The method also incorporates color association to aid pronunciation. Okay, suppose if you want to teach the students about your family, naturally you can put a green rod that will represent the head of the family, that is the father. You can put another rod that might be blue in color, that will be representing your uh, representing mother. There will be another rod that is smaller in size, so that would be representing your sister. Someone will be some another kind of rod that will be representing another member of the family. Okay, rather might be your grandfather or grandmother. Okay, so how they will be, then the teacher will say that the uh, teacher will touch the green one, then the learner will say father. Teacher will say, will touch the blue one, the learner will say mother. Then they will say this blue one is bigger than the green one. In the same way, they will be touching one another and the students will be doing their activities. The teacher will show the gesture or a pointer, and with the point, the teacher learner will be uh, active in case of in case of the silent way approach, and they will introduce simple command, okay, and illustrate concepts. The method also incorporates color association to aid in pronunciation. also they will be, that means bigger, smaller, okay, blue, green, okay, shorter, very close. These are the pronunciation will be used in case of learning this method. Utilizing a sound color charts for language sounds, colored word charts for sentence word. So pronunciation will be there. Sound color chart. That means we know several sound color. Okay, we can say that blue sound will be representing for some blue color will be representing a special sound. Red color will be representing a special sound. In such a way, pronunciation will be there. A colored word chart for sentence word. Okay, colored word. So, if, uh, we eat an apple. Okay, so if it is sentence, so the colored word, every word, apple, that word will be different color. It will be in different color, and uh, that means and will be in different color. So in case of using the different colored words, they will be teaching the sentence. So sentence will be there, and after initiating the first time, প্রথমত স্টুডেন্টদেরকে বলে দেওয়া হবে যে এই কালারটা এই ওয়ার্ডের জন্য, এই কালারটা এই ওয়ার্ডের জন্য, এই কালারটা এই ওয়ার্ডের জন্য। এরপরে স্টুডেন্টদেরকে টিচার এগুলোকে টাচ করবে অথবা জেস্টারের মাধ্যমে বলবে, এবং স্টুডেন্টগুলো সেই স্টুডেন্টরা তার সাথে প্র্যাকটিস করবে। নেক্সট টাইম স্টুডেন্ট উইল ডু সাচ কাইন্ড অফ অ্যাক্টিভিটি ফর ডিসকভারিং নিউ সেন্টেন্স, ফর ক্রিয়েটিং নিউ সেন্টেন্স। Initially, teacher will say, and next time, teacher will remain silent and student will create their own discovery in language learning. Okay. And also the colored fiddle chart for spelling instruction. So spelling will be learning, sentence, sounds, everything will be learning following the silent uh, uh, way. That is the process. The Silence West core principles emphasizes the importance of learner discovery and the role of physical objects to facilitate in learning. Okay, so physical object, that may be color dot. That is an example. That is the physical object. And the approach encourages a student to actively participate in problem solving, viewing learning as a creative and dynamic process. Okay, creative, not memorization will be there. Okay, teacher will be silent, but after getting the instruction or the gesture from the teacher, the learner will create their own sentence, own sounds. They will try to understand the meaning of different words. That is for their discovery and the creative process. And in case of audiolingualism, learner can be considered as a machine. What producing machine? Machine will produce sound if you repeat and after some time. But here, that is the quite different from the audiolingualism. That means teacher, learner will be a creative, and learner will be and the creative process and the dynamic process of learning will be applied in this the silent way approach. The teacher's role is to provide guidance and support, allowing students to explore and discover the language on their own. Okay. So despite its unique approach, the silent way has not gained widespread adoption in its original form. However, its ideas have been influential, particularly in the teaching of pronunciation. Okay. So the silent approach that was not accepted worldwide. However, of course, there are some good sides of this approach. What is the good side? That is, this is the thought-provoking and the creative power of the learner, and the learner will discover the new words. They will discover sound, pronunciation, and sentence as well through this approach, the silent way. The methods emphasizes on learners' autonomy, active participations, and the use of silence as a teaching tool has contributed to a broader shift in language education towards more student-centered approach. So we can say that the silent Poem is a language teaching approach developed by Caleb Gatigno, emphasizes learner autonomy and active student participation, achieved through the strategic use of silence and gesture. The method encourages the student to take an active role in their own learning, with the teacher serving as a guide or facilitator, and utilizes Cuisiner rods, colorful blocks of varying sizes, traditional used mathematics to represent object, introduce simple commands, and illustrate concept. The silent ways core principle emphasizes the importance of learner discovery and the rule of learning. Okay, so what is the teaching methods? So the teacher shows the learner as a small red Cuisiner rod and a bigger blue one, and says the blue one is bigger than the red one. First time, the teacher will say. The learner repeat this. The teacher then substitute the rods to produce other model. So they will substitute. The blue one is bigger than the red one. Next time, the green one is bigger than the white one. Okay, so these are the combination. After getting instruction or the physical gesture from the teacher, the learner will discover their own way, and through their discovery, they will be learning language. And finally, encourages the learners to produce their own comparisons. Okay, so this method emphasizes learners' autonomy and active student participation. Silence is used as a tool to achieve this goal. The teacher uses a mixture of silence and gesture to focus students' attention, to elicit responses from them, and to discover them to correct their own errors. Okay. And there are some advantages of the silent way. There are three advantages of the silent way method, such as the interaction of the students not only with teachers but also with each other. So interaction is very important for this days, and through the interaction, student can learn many things. The errors are corrected by the students themselves. So these errors is become the feedback for the teachers to help the students. And the silent way teachers are less spoken, so therefore they can guide with gesture. Okay, so these are the advantages of this method or approach. The students are more engaged in the process of learning. A lot of meaningful practices rather than automatic repetition. However, this method will have some disadvantages as well. The silence as a method will create a lot of extra tension and confusion. Okay, rather, a teacher might be directing someone else, but in that case, a student might not understand the teacher's direction, and for this reason, confusion might arise, and also tension might arise. That is the criticism. Lack of practice at home has a great impact on the student's progress. Okay, so there is no test over here in this silent way. There is no written examination over here. No homework will be there. No practice will be there outside the classroom. All things will be there through the classroom. Okay, and for this reason, uh, the students' improvement might be little bit slower. That is the criticism of these methods. That is approaches and methods in the silent way. Okay, so here we see that is the silent way. This is an approach. This is not a method. And this approach was developed by Caleb Gettigno. He is a mathematician, and he said, and he was very much tired of the traditional method, and introduced this method, this approach, that is the silent way. And in this approach, teacher will remain silent and the students will be active. The main thing or focus of this silent way approach is that is that is that is the student will be active, teacher will remain silent, and through the active part of the students, teacher will discover sentence, and the learners will be discover new words. The learner will discover the new the pronunciation of other words. they will make their own comparison. So learner will own self correct their mistakes. Okay, so that would be the feedback as well. So that is the learner autonomy that would be uh, utilized in this method, in this approach, that is the silent way. So um, this is about the silent way. Okay, so what we can see here, that is we will watch